Sports on this Friday night. Had to get with you. My New York Knicks, top of the list in terms of conversations and what's going on out in the city of Angels. Gave away a W to the Lakers. Going to get a W against a battle-tested Clipper team. Let's just go across the socials and make sure everything is good. Hope everybody had a good Friday going into the weekend. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Facebook. Let's get this. Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm. See. Yes, indeed. Facebook is good. All right. Let's go across. And then we have to talk about the New York Knicks. Have to talk about the NFL draft, which is coming up. Prospects rising and falling. Need to discuss Major League Baseball. Spring training, start of the season right around the corner. And a couple other things on this Friday evening. Hope everybody out there is doing well. Conclusion of the work week going into the weekend. We made it. Some of us by skin of our chinny chin chin. Make sure to Twitch. No. Okay, the Twitch. I didn't see that view. Twitch is on point. Excellent. Welcome to SandCity Sports. To the business, folks. Listen, we're going to talk about the Knicks. Okay, I got my throwback on. All right, throwback to yesteryear. Shout out. Can you see? I got my Run DC on. Pick this up, of course, when Barack Obama was president. All right, a different time in American life. We have different presidents. It is what it is. That's not really what it's about. But just want to give a shout out to Run DC. Okay. President Obama, and of course that hip hop group, Run DMC, okay, that did their thing. And I hope everybody is good. As I said, we're gonna get the Knicks game on against the Clippers. Do have a number of things to discuss about my New York Knicks, okay, in that battle last night, the overtime thriller. We saw a number of things. You saw what the Knicks can be because they had the Lakers in a chokehold, had them on lockdown for 3 quarters. All right, and then that LL Cool J. Okay, right? We got Luka and LeBron. Okay, that Cool James, LeBron James, that wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Well, was out there in the open court getting loose. All right, getting free. Right? You can't double up LeBron. You can't double up Luka. They're both tremendous playmakers, and the league is getting an early indication of what is to come. This Lakers team, right? They can score with the best of them because when you got Luka Legend on the court, doesn't matter who's guarding him, doesn't matter what your scheme is. All right, he's breaking all that up. Okay, Luka offensively, is it a stretch to say Bo Jackson in his prime? What Luka can do offensively? All right, since we have this thick boy Luka narrative in terms of him being out of shape, which everyone can see is ridiculous, right? All right, and Luka, he's not a great on-ball defender, and people are gonna hunt him. Good, do it. All right, because as much as you're hunting Luka defensively, and you need to have, Luka is not any different than any other big. Okay, he's not fleet of foot, so to speak. So on the perimeter, he's at a disadvantage. Okay, get that imagery for you on the screen. Okay, but Luka, he's no, he's a strong guy. So I think the Lakers should try to do is have him defend the post more so than the perimeter. Okay, obviously he's not, going to make All NBA first team in either. Okay, let's see if we can get Luka on defense. They're trying to hunt Luka. I can't get anything specifically. Okay, got him on offense. But they, putting them in those 1-4 scenarios. Right? Who can guard Jalen Brunson on the perimeter? Right? But what was seen last night and was going to continue to be seen is that offensively, you got to pick your poison. And you got the Lightning and the Thunder now. Right? LeBron found the fountain of youth. Okay. And what did LeBron say? And this is what my feeling, because they're both playmakers. 6'8" Magic Johnson body. All right. LeBron out here looking like George McGinnis. Right. Shout out. Right. NBA people know George McGinnis. Remember George McGinnis. Okay. We will be able to get George McGinnis for you on the screen. But the point is, they're not selfish offensively. They're not, and they're not ball dominant in the fact that yes, they do have high usage. Okay, let's get George McGinnis. Right, people would remember. See if we can get that. That's a great picture here. Can't see what I'm talking about. Yes, I paid my fees. Thank you. No. Oh yeah. Okay. In terms of LeBron, physical specimen. Right? LeBron's like a new look. George McGinnis, Philadelphia 76ers, 1976, a series they should have won against the Portland Trailblazers, the famous Doc Rivers dunk over the late, great Bill Walton. But the team was ridiculous. All right, this is pre-Moses, documentary about Moses Malone that's coming up that I'm very excited about. But in those days, it was George McGinnis and Dr. J together was the dynamic duo. We don't remember George McGinnis as well, but, talk about just, you can see he's not a small person, all right, and can do it all, inside, outside, right? And LeBron, obviously different, this new generation, right? But people, I'm just comparing the physicality, the ability to impose themselves on the defense, okay? And back to the Lakers, they have two guys that can do that. Yes, LeBron, and then yes, also Luka, because what Luka has done from very early on in his career, because when he came into he's gotten huskier as he's been in the league. There's nobody's denying that. But what people are not giving Luka enough credit for is as he's gotten, broader of shoulder, if you will, he takes people down onto the block. All right. He's not always dancing on the perimeter, even though he can do that with his slow-mo style. One of the fellow, buddies in the fantasy chat has long made that point. Believed in Luka. I was not a Luka stan. I was not a Luka supporter early on. I didn't believe the hype, and I was dead wrong. Okay? People like Bill Simmons at NBA draft, that NBA draft said Luka should have been the number one pick. I was not team Luka. He was 1,000% right. Go ahead and check the receipts. Forget what year the draft was. Okay, I was team Marvin Bagley. Right, to show you, you know what I mean? Shout out to George McGinnis. Shout out to the 70s. Okay? Sixers. Trailblazers. John Havlicek, Celtics. Wes Unseld. Baltimore. In those days, Bullets. All right? But you see, right? Force of nature. Big body forwards. And the Lakers have two of them that know how to use that physique. Okay, I thought LeBron early on in his career, and we are going to get to the Knicks. Matter of fact, this game is going on. Got a lot to say about the Knicks. People want to jump on the bandwagon when things are going good. Thank you. Knicks and my Clippers going on right now. Okay, Jalen Brunson can be out. We're not taking no steps back. Trust and believe. McBride, Campaign, Tyler, Kolek. We got lefties all day coming off the ready to contribute. Game just tipped off. Deuce coming in, filling it. Oh, goodness gracious. First possession. That Ibaka Zubac has been balling on my fantasy team. Okay. He should have been an all-star. All right. No disrespect to Harden, but it should have been Zubac or Norman Powell as all-stars. Okay, so the game just tipped off. We got Knicks, Clips, watch party, SandCity Sports. You know what side of the aisle I'm on. No two ways about it. Okay, Team Knicks all day, every day. Okay, put the, you know what I mean? Got the run DC. Can't see all of it, but just, you know what I mean? We're not getting super duper political, but you know, this was my jam. It was my jam in the day. I need to wear this a little bit more. You know, people think, oh, you know, it's tough. You know, you support one candidate, you support one party. You know, it's going to be a quiet night over dinner in terms of this climate that we're in. Um, yeah, you know, people can have, you know, the opinions. You're right to have the opinion that you want to have. Is my view. Okay, because I'm happen to be more progressive in my political thinking does not mean, you know, I'm not receptive to conservative points of view. That's how it's done in a democracy, of course. Um, so leave that as it is. Um, but back to the Lakers before we get to the Knicks, before we get to tonight's matchup, which is going on, before we get to the Tibbs slander that I'm quite sensitive to and always ready to combat with full force, as he's my favorite coach, and he done brought prosperity back to the Garden and the league. Yes, I said it. Marquee matchup last night, Lakers and the Knicks, and people have forgotten quickly because of a injury that happened. Injuries happen. You know, Jalen Brunson's gonna be out for a time, and we're gonna be fine while he's out. And I already established it. Deuce is ready. Payne is ready. Kolek ready. Tyler Kolek out of New England. He's from the Rhode Island area, one of the small towns. I believe Cumberland, Rhode Island, is where he played his high school basketball, and then he was a prep school kid. Grinder, worked for his success. Okay, but back to the Lakers, right? Let's get. Hold on, I'm in my screen. Screen came a little bit. LeBron James, yeah. LeBron and Luka. Okay, get it for you on the screen. They've been fast friends, folks. LeBron and Luka have been fast friends. Okay. And Austin now getting himself, okay, a little bit of shine, okay, as they need him to step up, but not just Austin. You saw what Dalton Connect did going into the fourth quarter. That three hurt. Okay, a lot of NBA teams, oh, he's a Division II player. Oh, he's older. Balling out, number 2 seed in the Western Conference as a rook. Okay, you drafted at 18, 19 with potential. All right, instead of taking somebody that's tried and true. Okay, so they got Austin. I like Rui. Hope pronunciation is another big body forward coming. Vanderbilt has been huge. Shout out to Rob Pelinka. Okay, a defensive Swiss Army knife. Okay, Jackson Hayes is a serviceable center. Yes, he is. Was that way for the Pelicans, that way for the Lakers. Okay, so they have some pieces. They have a little bit of depth. Okay, Doran Finney Smith, I believe, 3-and-D guy, come in to do the dirty work. Okay, a team not that different than the Mavericks with Luka and with Kyrie. Lakers don't have as many spot-up shooters. Dallas's offense was more drive and kick. But Gabe Vincent was shooting last night to the dismay of myself, my Knicks, dismay and discomfort. Okay, he was out there spacing the floor. They got Cole Swider in the program, another Rhode Island prospect. Played at Villanova, played at Syracuse. Number NBA teams. He's back with the Lakers. Bring him up. Okay, he'll shoot the lights out. So this team, okay, with a young ascending star in Luka and an aged star, but still productive, very much so, in LeBron. And then yes, and I have to bring this up. No shade on the Mavericks and how that situation. You don't want to, wish ill on anybody ever for any circumstances. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, Anthony Davis, you know, if not the best, one of the best defenders in the league. So that hasn't been equaled, but by committee, the Lakers have built up, fortified their defensive identity. And as angry as I am about the L, because my Knicks need every single W because they're battling with the Celtics for that 2 seed. The 1 seed's out of the question, but really battling with the Celtics to have home court advantage in the second round and to stay out of that 4 seed. A little bit of distance between them and Milwaukee now, but every game counts. Stay out of the 4 seed. I mean, for the Knicks, I don't think it really matters. I don't know, right? Because Cleveland is Cleveland, and it's a new day. The Knicks had Cleveland's number, okay, in the olden times. They don't have Cleveland's number anymore. No, they do not. They don't have Cleveland's number anymore. Okay, Cleveland is in a new stratosphere. But you pick your poison. Okay, what does this have to do with the Lakers? It has to do with the Lakers is Knicks in control, game they need, and it just slipped through their fingers and was gone. Okay, Lakers in the past have lacked an offensive identity because Anthony Davis is a defensive-minded player. Yes, Anthony Davis can score, all right, but he's not looking to get 30, 40 points a night. Okay? That was years ago, right? Let's get some further imagery as we dive deep into this. I don't know about dive deep. That's a little bit too much. It's not a deep dive. We're conversant on this. No. I don't need LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I need Larry Bird. Not just Larry Bird. Okay, we get all three if we can. We get all three. Stock picture. Folks in Boston like to see this. City of Boston, Titletown, USA. All of a sudden on the back burner. Okay, shout out to Amazon. I'm not adding this to the cart. Don't tell Bezos. I don't know if he's gonna mind. You know what I saw today? We might have to get this for you. On the screen. Jeff Bezos' net worth is 200 and some odd billion. When did that happen? We'll get that for you further. A little bit of quick Amazon. I knew, he's up there, so on and forth. But that, because, with Jeff Bezos, him having gotten a divorce and split his fortune with Mackenzie Bezos, who was, as I understand it, check out The Rise and Reign. I believe it's The Rise and Reign of Amazon, or The Rise and Reign of Jeff Bezos, PBS. Best television on the television for kids and adults. Where am I going with this? Yes, Jeff Bezos, divorce, fortune split. But then he's, reassembled said fortune to be second richest man in the world. I was stunned that Elon Musk, not is he just the richest man in the world, but by almost 2 to 1 presently. $400 billion, 2 to 1. They're all just in a, but I didn't realize the gap had become so significant. What does this have to do with the Lakers and LeBron James and Anthony Davis, folks? It has to do, okay? And why this new look Lakers team took a W away from my Knicks. No, they're not the Oklahoma City Thunder, okay? But they may have usurped. And again, it's early. They're the new hotness right now. Denver is kind of on their journey come playoff time, Denver is not going to be easy. And easy is not even the correct word, because of the vengeance that they're going to come into this with, based on how they were upstage last year in their championship window, losing an opportunity that doesn't come around again. So I think Denver's a team, you kind of been there, done that, seen it, tried and true. Malone, Jamal Murray, Joker, right? Two guys, the Lakers have experienced this, that you cannot stop. So I'm not saying the Lakers are above the Denver Nuggets. What I am saying, back to the Lakers and why they are better with Luka Doncic. Larry Bird's major critique of Kevin McHale. Okay? Documented. Okay? Check out Bob Ryan's book on Larry Bird. Shout out to Bob Ryan, the Hingham Hammer. Documented. Larry Bird was, frustrated and I go as far as say aggravated that Kevin McHale didn't come out every night and it's not. I'm kind of throwing shade on Kevin McHale's name right now. All right, but go ahead and check the receipts. This is well known. That Bird and McHale, there was a rift to a certain extent. I'm not saying they didn't get along. I'm not saying that they wouldn't talk. I'm not saying that but Larry Bird felt that he could go out and get 40 every night with his post moves. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making right now. That Kevin McHale, prime Kevin McHale, mid-80s Kevin McHale, 84, 85, 86, 87, 4 straight NBA finals. And the 87 finals was with a hurt Bill Walton and without the services of Len Bias. Okay? 4 straight finals, 86 team, considered one of the greatest in NBA history. Healthy Bill Walton. All right? The theory was, and Larry Bird, clearly, you go back and check, he talk about a passing, talk about a playmaker. Go back and check Larry Bird's highlights in terms of how he was just diming people. On the break, in the post. Their high-low game, just absurd. With skilled passers. Okay? But Kevin McHale's post game was just filthy. And obviously, you're not helping off of Larry Bird. Obviously, you need a body on the Chief. So he was just getting single coverage in the post. And what, what is Shaquille O'Neal say? That's, what type of chicken that is. That's that barbecue chicken. Okay? That's that barbecue chicken. We got to see if we can get Kevin McHale. And back to the Lakers and Anthony Davis. That's the mentality that AD has never had. Might have had it for 1 year when he was with Boogie in New Orleans. Might have had it for the 1 year. Okay? See if we can get a little bit of... I don't know if we need the music, but... There's a lot of people talking. I just want to see Kevin McHale just posting people up. Thank you. This is what I was looking for. Hold on the volume. Okay. We're ready. How's everybody doing? Coming in a little bit late. This pod go for about an hour, right? It's a Friday. Friday night, you know what I mean? But not gonna go different. Another Friday night, we would have been burning the midnight oil because it's Friday. Friday. You understand what I'm saying? But this Friday I gotta get some things in order. Cape Cod kid gonna be traveling. Let's check. Let's take a look. I don't want to hold on. Let's see what we got.
McHale breaks that route on McHale at this corner. McHale sparked the Celtics to regain the lead with a 3-point advantage, and McHale makes it 5 and a foul. That was a bad defense. That Bulls turnover. McHale for three.
Didn't know he had the 3 game.
Three-pointer for Kevin McHale.
Now this is what I'm talking about.
Upshaw, high post to McHale. He'll wheel inside and hit.
Yeah, I'm starting to see the move already. That little, and then yeah, I'm already starting to see it already.
Get it off the window and draw the foul.
Ball wherever he wants. 12 feet and scores every time.
It's
McHale,
barbecue.
look at that move inside. A basket and a foul.
Barbecue.
McHale, forget that. And you loop it into McHale. Count it.
Barbecue.
McHale. Great move inside.
Barbecue.
Except for his injury, I think Chicago made a good move.
A little bit of defense.
To Ainge, and McHale tips it back to DJ for three. He gets it. Big one. 3 points.
And Jabbar, very smart, taking advantage of it.
Now here's Kevin McHale. He has been in the game for 6.
I need
By
one
the
more.
way, you'll see that on TBS.
He's bar every night.
McHale in traffic. Oh, what a shot, huh?
Okay? Ask the Chuckster about Kevin McHale. Ask him. Okay? Not to be trifled with. What does this have to do with LeBron and the Lakers? And I haven't even gotten to my Knicks playing the Clippers tonight. Yes, it is a watch party. We are going to talk about the New York Knicks. We're going to bounce back and get a W. We don't have to do any of this. Okay? This is the pedigree of Anthony Davis. If the Lakers wanted, and I believe that they did, LeBron was to play inside out. Space it, give it to AD, single coverage, barbecue chicken. Just cook. I'm talking about 25, 26, 27. Now, checking Anthony Davis, he's been healthy. He has been up there, scoring points, playing consistently. He's been having a good year prior to this, which might have, even though the deal is just bananas on every circumstance, because Anthony Davis is not the equivalent of Luka Doncic in any world. Luka is in the Giannis, Anthony Edwards conversation. Victor Wembanyama, right? That's who you need to trade for Luka. A young, aspiring, okay, can't wait to be king. A young lion, to trade for Luka, you need a young Lion King. All right, Anthony Edwards is a Lion King. Okay, Giannis has been a Lion King and is still, right, in that prime, those prime years. And Victor is ascending. You call with those names, I'll listen if I have Luka. But only those names. No disrespect to AD. Yeah, he's older. Okay? If you want to give me AD, Pelicans, Boogie Cousins, Rajon Rondo, Drew Holiday AD for Luka, okay, now you speak my language. But that's 4, 5, 6, 7, couple injuries, pandemic, the whole night. That's not the AD that they got, as we can see. And he hasn't been street close. He hasn't. But you don't up, it was going well and you upend somebody, and now it's going to be an adjustment period. So Dallas Mavericks, who went to the finals just last year, can I say it again? Just last year. And now they're headed for the lottery. Back to the Lakers. Okay, and why they are a force. OKC? No, they're not OKC. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander said, respect on my name when it's come to this MVP. And I heard enough. You're going to put some respect on my name. Odds-on favorite. My New York Knicks. Who's that? Oh, I didn't even mention Landry Shamet. We got guards, folks, coming off the act like this team, Leon Rose, Worldwide West, like this team is not constructed. Do I still miss? Do we need Ragu? We need Ragu. We need Dante DiVincenzo back. No two ways about it. But don't sleep on Tyler Kolek. And Campaign has been there, and McBride has been there, and throwing Landry Shamet. Go get a bucket, Landry. What Tom Thibodeau can do with guards. Derrick Rose having 50 points with the Bulls, with the Timberwolves. Under the capable leadership of Tom Thibodeau. Doing all that people out. Can't burn people out. Okay? You get injured by playing sports. That's how the injuries happen. You play sport, you're going to get injured, nicked up. Jalen's going to be out for 2-3. He would have been out we were resting Jalen anyway going into the playoffs. Okay? Jalen, the last OG, Anunoby, Mr. Anthony Towns, Carl, Prada, Don Bosco in New Jersey, all those players, load management. No two ways. They need the rest. Okay, Mikal Bridges don't take no days off. Josh Hart ain't taking days off. All right, there's other on the other side of the spectrum. All the tip slander. Ridiculous. Burns through guys. What? You don't even practice half the time. You're doing all this workout, highlight, you know what I mean, playing in these like mini gyms. Basketball players, no, I don't care, young, old, whatever the case may be. Well, now granted, you're a little bit older, you're LeBron's age, you need, but you know what I mean? Hoopers, like not that I'm the creme de la creme, but you know, once you get in your rhythms, you know, you don't want to sit down. I don't. Now I'm getting a little bit older, you know what I mean? So I'm not what I used to be, frankly, you know, got to get back in the, because I used to be playing in 2 men's leagues and running up and down. So that cardio was just embedded. Now the cardio, cardio needs some work. I gotta build it back up. But the point of fact is, in the heyday of men's league competition for your boy, and we'll get some of those pictures for you on the screen, because I can feel some of you doubting that I took. We did take home some championships, and I'll get those pictures for the people on the screen. There was some championships that was taken home by the Cape Cod kid on the men's league circuit. Not a lot, but we got one. Got a chip. Okay, I'm Eric Snow. That's my man. Throwback, you know what I mean? People remember, early 2000s, Eric Snow. That's my game. Game manager, defense, passing. I do a lot of talking. Too much talking. I didn't get my turnovers. I turned the ball over. We keeping it real on SandCity Sports. I turned the ball over, but I'm hustling back on defense. I'm accountable. I'll take myself right out the game. I'm the captain, and I get on people. I tips my coach, so I'm gonna get on you. But if I'm not doing what I need to do, go ahead and get the minutes. Go ahead and get the minutes, because you know, Cape Cod kid ain't doing right. But what I was saying, folks, and what basketball, once you break that sweat, particularly here in New England where it gets cold in the winter, you know, you got to wear long sleeves and high socks, you know, to be warm. But then once you get sweating and feeling, you know, good, then you don't want to come out. You're feeling good. All right? And so, you know, every time any injury happens and it's just, you know, it's on, and, you know, today they're burning people out and they just can't, you know, Derrick Rose had knee problems at Simeon. Stop it. Had knee problems at Kentucky. Had knee problems coming into the league playing for Vinny Del Negro. Stop it. Now, well, you know, with that in mind, he should have rested him during the MVP season because he was going to break down and yada yada yada. All right, I will concede. Okay, maybe. I'm not backing up my point. But at the same time, you're talking about, again, this is before all the the nonsense with load management. But you want to play. You want to play. So maybe the Bulls could have, you know, but it wasn't like he was evidence, and, you know, Derrick Rose wanted to play, so we're going to play you. All right, and the last point before we move on, thanks, everybody. Please let me know, am I going too long on this time? Whatever the case may be, I appreciate you. It's a Friday night. It's a little bit late, but not too late. SandCity Sports on the check-in. I borrowed that. You know, that's something that CP the franchise says. Shout out to Knicks Fan TV. I got some things to do. I don't know. You know, it's gonna be a late episode if CP the franchise is coming. We don't play Hey, we congratulate. Because they're on the, you know, so you don't start until, you know, it's like the first quarter, 11 o'clock's the first quarter. So I don't know if Knicks fan. I hope that there will be, you know, just because you got to do it. But on the East Coast, it'll be a late episode of Knicks Fan TV. That's where I got, you know, on the check-in. That's CP the franchise phraseology. All right, back to the Knicks. I made it clear how I feel. You know, everyone wants to blame Tay, you know, but Mikal Bridges, Iron Man, and he's going to continue to be an Iron Man. Yeah, how about that model? I have the best job in the world. I have the best physical opportunities, chefs, all my meals, physical trainers, counting calories. You know, there's no reason why you can't be in tip-top shape. And then go out and evidence that under the bright lights. There's just no reason. Mikal Bridges at the free throw line. Knicks got the old school uniforms on. Shout out to this reminds me of the early 90s. I'm getting flashbacks to my childhood. Xavier McDaniels, Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, Derek. Throwback jerseys. The Clippers rebranding has been pretty cool also. Playing at the Intuit Dome, brand new facility. Steve Ballmer done brought prosperity to the Clippers and the NBA. I like their new, because they're Clippers, right? They're Mariners. They're, so their reflect that. It's a beautiful thing. What do we have? Can I see my score here? What are the 20 and Knicks down 4, 27-31. What are we doing here? Just start. See, it's late. It's 11 o'clock and just starting the second quarter. So we might not going to be Mikal foul going to the line. Knicks are going to now. The Clippers are, Clippers are tough. Clippers are tough. You can't take anything away. You're tough. They're just a battle tested. I told you, Ibaka's an all-star level. Norman Powell, Harden. You're getting the best out of Harden. They got Bogdan. You see, the Clippers, they're like Miami, and they just bring people into the culture, and then, you're just able to get the best out of these guys when they're superstars. I just never play. Right? Kawhi plays one every 3 or 4 games. But these other quote-unquote reserve players that are now starting and balling, Bogdanovich, Norman Powell, Ibaka has been a starter for a minute. Going all the way back to the bubble, when had Jerry West been there, I think Jerry West had taken over the Clippers. He did take over the Clippers because Jerry West, the late great, is the one that manufactured the Paul George deal with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City Thunder look pretty good now because, of course, who did they trade for Paul George and a gang of picks? But the soon-to-be named NBA MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So Sam Presti knew what he was doing. Speaking of visionaries in the long view, Sam Presti knew what he was doing. Number 1 seed with a team that, I don't know if they have anybody over 25. I don't know if their average age is over 25. And a stockpile of draft picks. Is that Bogdanovich? No, the Knicks, they had to trade Bogdanovich. I'm sorry. I think, because Ragu was DiVincenzo, I think they called Bogdanovich Bodega. New York will call him Bodega. If he not hitting, Knicks, if Bodega hadn't gotten hurt, we was going to take that Indiana series. We was taking it. Didn't have anything for the Celtics last year, but could have just had Bogey, you know what I mean? If and buts with candy and nuts, folks. We would all have a Merry Christmas. Second quarter, Knicks Clippers on their SandCity Sports watch party Friday night. Talked, right, about the Lakers. And forget the Dallas trade. That's over. What's done is done, right? I'm just saying the Godfather, what's done is done. Okay, the Lakers, okay, it's interesting, but they have the horses. Yes, I said it. Because even though LeBron is older and Luka is not, but Luka he's going to be, as much as we look at him when we don't see elite athlete, his efficiency is just through the roof. His efficiency is through the roof. Yeah, he turns the ball over and argues at the officials, but when buckets need getting, they're gotten. And the Lakers can now swing that momentum, and other teams are going to be the ones pressed with their back against the wall having to make a play. And they got Kennett Kennett, he's young, but they got youthfulness to go along with, their superstars that are not explosive anymore. Okay, so they're firmly in the conversation in that second tier. Don't sleep on Denver. Rockets are loaded with young talent under the capable leadership of Ime Udoka. But they're a little bit ahead of schedule, right? Because the Kings are supposed to be where the Rockets are. But the Kings, who knows what they were thinking and what they're trying to do. Okay, so, right? And now Golden State's trying to get back into the, but those are the teams. The Rockets are supposed to be trying to get into the play-in. Never mind, like, firmly established in the top half of the Western Conference. Again, capable leadership of Ime Udoka. just like the capable leadership of Kenny Atkinson, just like the capable leadership of JB Bickerstaff. Right? These coaches, you know what I mean? This go wrong, that go wrong, fire the coach. They know what they're talking about. Coach Bud in Phoenix knows what he's talking about. All right? As evidenced by Detroit, Cleveland, day to the night, night to the day. All right? My New York Knicks, precious out. Folks sleeping, thinking Tibbs teams don't have depth. Thinking Tibbs don't have the next man up. Speaking of which, who was Jimmy Butler before Derrick Rose got hurt? Thank you very much. Kid from Marquette who bought into the system, the Spartan leadership of Tom Thibodeau. Right? Tibbs slander, all right, is not accepted on SandCity Sports in any way, shape, or form. Okay, we it might as well be an episode of Versus if I hear any Tibbs slander. Okay, or the normal, just the normal conjecture. 3 years in a row, least like coach by NBA poll. Okay, but all those guys would have liked to have been in the conversation to go to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but they don't like Tibbs. Right, you can stay your behind home. All right, in NBA, inside the NBA, on TNT, on ESPN, wherever it is. Okay, all those didn't want to play for Tibbs, not about that Tibbs life. Okay, get your fishing pole ready, get your bait. Make sure you got your rubber boots. Behind can go fishing because you're not going to be in the playoff conversation. Majority of you. But you don't want to play for Tibbs. Okay, meanwhile, the players that buy in. Since when is Jalen Brunson an all-star starter? Since when is Karl Anthony Towns back in the starting line? Well, yeah, he couldn't be in the starting line because he's in the West, but we sometimes we forget that side of the Tibbs conversation. Okay, Cape Cod Kid going to remind you quick. Okay, folks. So thrilled to be with you again. A little bit late. Came in a little bit late. I like to 10 o'clock sharp. That's what I strive for. Okay, but you get in where you fit in. That's what it is. So a little bit past that, and we'll check in for a little while longer. Got to cross some T's. Got to dot some I's. Very busy weekend, celebratory weekend in the family. Very exciting stuff. But at the same time, the passion project is a passion project, man. Right? At times you say we don't have time to do those things that, but when we do those things, that gives us that extra fuel. Remember asking a friend of mine, he said, you find the strength. You find it. When push comes to shove, you find the strength. Okay? And doing the artwork and whatever to give, your passion, something that's positive and uplifting and creative and helpful. Those things now when you have to go back to just maintaining. All right? Because what did Coach K say? One of the things I borrowed from Coach K, first of all, what I borrowed, he says, I don't look at myself as a basketball coach. I look at myself as a leader who happens to coach basketball. Coach K, right? We got to get that for you on the screen. We're going to be with you for a little while longer. Then we're going to get this and that done and get ready for a beautiful day coming up. Get ready for a beautiful day coming up. This picture never gets old. No matter how many times you've seen it. Right? This guy over here. I don't look at myself as a basketball coach. I look at myself as a leader who happens to coach basketball. Right? Coach K talks about, he said, I got, I got a double dose of greatness. Right? Cape Cod Kids coming with a lot of quotations, a lot of platitudes tonight, but it is what it is. That's how I have to get down tonight. Right? What did they learn from a coworker? He said, you got to be careful what you wish for. Why? Because you might get it. Always remember that. It's been what? It's been like 7-8 years, worked with this gentleman in like 16 and 17. Almost not 25, 9 years. Wow. One of the guys I follow on the gram, Hub's life. Just a good, Ibaka, go get the buckets. Come on, Ibaka. That was Ibaka because he's on my fantasy team, so I can, I can cheer for him a little bit, but not too much. Not too much. My next Deuce, get him. Come on. Layups being missed. Great no calls by these officials. Great no calls. Kawhi, extra pass in the corner, wide open. Clink, clink, Clippers. Well-oiled machine. Shout out to Sean Fine, the pride of Barnstable High School. Back in the day, Barnstable Red Raiders. On the direct, you could see him on the second bench. Director of player development. I keep mentioning Sean. I got to get Sean for you on the screen. But I haven't forgotten about Coach K and what I meant to say. My next clink, clink. Clink, clink. Up 6. We ain't giving no leads back. Went through that last night. Ain't giving no lead. Jalen Brunson. I'm Jalen Brunson. Tom Thibodeau burning through play. We playing against the tried and true Clippers. And we locking them down. You ain't even seen Tibbs' defense yet. You could excel because we ain't showing the cards just yet. Come playoff times when we get that 2-3 matchup, and this is a tough one for me. It's a tough one for me because my Knicks need a championship, and my Knicks got to get a championship in 50 years. And you saw how Spike was at that game last night. And can't get to it this episode. But the Stephen A. Smith and LeBron back and forth, which I love, by the way, frankly. I love it. Not that, we don't need to be barking and all, but I love the fact that we have two people at the top of their game, literally the top of their game. Love him, hate him, whatever you want to say. Stephen A. Smith is a force of nature. That's why he got the bag. People can't stand him. People love him. Whatever. ESPN said, we need you. And ESPN, by the way, doggone it, around the horn going off the air. I have no idea what's going on at that company. I have no idea what Disney is doing. None. Just casting off around the horn. Are you kidding me? Never mind all the talent that's been done left there. Acting like Disney's not rolling in the dough. No idea what the heck is going on. But in that atmosphere, in that, austere economic environment, for Stephen A. Smith to be $20 million man, no questions asked. All right, he's resonating, and has been for quite some time. Whether he's your guy, whether he's not your guy, it's undisputed, undeniable, undisputed. Kind of dope, which was a great show. Skip and Shannon, Harden, another guy, Harden, who was just not tenable, not a team guy. Just couldn't come to the Clippers. Ty Lue, Steve Ballmer. I will be mentioning, yes, Sean Fine, that the professionalism that the Clippers have in that organization in terms of just getting guys. Oh, now they starting to cook a little bit, Knicks. And again, you know what I mean? It's just a first-rate organization, and Lawrence Frank in the front office. They get guys to be the best version of themselves. And that's not easier said than done for a lot of us. Okay. Back to this picture. Coach K, Bobby Knight. Coach K talks about, I had a double dose of greatness. Going to West Point. Widely recognized as an elite university globally. Coach K talks about one of the greatest leadership institutions in the world. Obviously, West Point, this is where future generals and leading military figures attend. So that is on the personal development side. And then on the player development side, he's playing for a young Bobby Knight who love him, hate him, good, bad, or indifferent, throwing chairs, cursing people out, conservative in his worldview. A very gifted broadcaster, by the way, very gifted. Okay, but just a basketball savant. Yes, but we throw words around, luminary, legendary, yada, yada, yada. What did this man tell the Portland Trailblazers? Because, by the way, he got an Olympic gold medal in 1984. And dealing with a team full of just, not just Indiana guys. talking about what Bobby Knight knows about basketball. He told the Portland Trailblazers because the dream, and you can't. I mean, even though the Rockets should have taken Michael Jordan, every team should have taken Michael Jordan, given that he's the greatest. But you can't. They took all-time player and Hakeem Olajuwon. You can't slight them on that. But doggone it, the number 2 pick and Sam Bowie. And the Portland people came to Bobby Knight, who was, said, what do you think? You know what I mean? He said, Michael Jordan. Well, we already got Clyde Drexler. We need a center. He said, draft Michael Jordan and play him at center. Done. Conversation over. Michael Jordan. No, we need to bet. We already got Clyde. And Clyde Drexler's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. Let me just say, he's a Hall of Famer. We throw out their first ballot too much. Michael Jordan is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Magic, those are the first ballot Hall of Famer. Everybody's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm sorry. We got to come to our senses on this. Right? For when we just say, and I'm guilty of it as anybody. Oh, people pleaser, backslapper, handshake, all the rest of that stuff. I do it. You're right. Okay, and it has to be, but we have to also take that step back and say, what is the reality? What's the truth? Michael, Olajuwon, right? Those are first ballot guys. Jeff Van Gundy. Doggone it, that loss is killing the Celtics. Steve Ballmer just coming in, headhunting, right? Oh, Golden State Dynasty, built by Jerry West. He's the one that went out and got Steph. He's the one that went out and got Clay, found Draymond, brought in Harrison Barnes. The Golden State Warriors, Jerry West strikes again. And what happened? Steve Ballmer came and said he gave him a bag, offer he couldn't refuse. He said, we need you no matter what. Period. End of story. Come, and then Jerry West subsequently built the Clippers up. Now, again, if they want to keep 3-1 leads in the bubble, or you know what I mean? Pay these guys that are going to actually play. I'm going to have to get this for you on the screen before we bounce up and out of here because I'll get to talking and I get to going. John Wall, his contract, and John Wall, respect, he's been through different things. Who's at the game? Patrick Ewing, the pride of Cambridge, Massachusetts, at the ball game. It's a beautiful thing. Just lost my train of thought with that. Oh, yes. In terms of contracts. John Wall, his hundreds of millions of dollars deal, played like 40 games. Okay? Bobby Knight, draft Michael Jordan, play him at center. Sam Bowie, unfortunately, just never healthy. Okay? At all. Never healthy at all. And I got to finish. I'd be remiss since we got the graphic. I have to tell. And I've been, we're going to hit an hour on this episode. And then I got to really get bump on out of here. Got to get a number of things done. Get myself ready. I'm moving out. We're rolling out tonight. But we have some time. And so, sometimes you don't want to go to sleep because, you say, I don't know if so I'll be staying up, getting some things done, getting myself out and about, moving because I got to travel tonight. When I have to take the early bus to be in Boston to fly out in the morning. Heading west, visit family. Beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, big family gathering, celebration. Speaking of family. Okay, story that I have to tell since we have this graphic up on the screen. We're going to get to the NFL next episode. Sorry. So Coach K, right? Talking about the best high school basketball tradition in the country. I'm going to have to say Chicago Public League. A little bit in a lot of that. And then a lot, based on Hoop Dreams. My view, the greatest basketball. I think that's tough to say the greatest. I can't, but one of the greatest basketball movies that's, of all time. And Coach K, folks may not, he was a hooper. You look at him, he has, you look at him and he has that Bobby Hurley in him. You don't leave Bobby Hurley Jr., co-MVP of the 1990 McDonald's All-American game along with Shaquille O'Neal. Right, we learned about Bobby Hurley Jr. through the Miracle of St. Anthony's. In terms of Coach K, you might want to check out The Rise and Reign of Coach K, Ian O'Connor. Have that on Audible. Shout out to Audible. He was, a Division I and not like a Power 5 point guard. getting interest from Wisconsin, getting interest from the University of Illinois in his playing days. And here's where I'm going with this. So Bobby Knight, young coach, he identified, he's out there talking about what it takes to build a program from scratch. Never mind, all the bluster, you got to be all the different places, living on the road, going to get the talent and make the connections. So we came onto Bobby Knight's radar, and so Bobby Knight, offered him a scholarship to come play for West Point. And he's like, what? He's like, West Point? Ain't got no basketball tradition. I'm going Big Ten. I'm a hooper. I'm doing this. That was his attitude. He comes from a Polish American family. And so Coach K, his family, in a very tight-knit community. And so the family, they were like, West Point, what is West Point? And so they asked some of the, influential members in the Polish American community about, like, what's West Point? Can you? And, the people were like, oh, West Point, that's where presidents go. That's where generals go. That's where the future leaders of America go. And so the parents went to Mike and they said, listen, I see the one person with me, rocking. I appreciate you jumping in the chat. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what it is. Appreciate you rocking with SandCity Sports. Talking a little bit about Coach K as we get to the conclusion of this episode. Knicks, Clippers. Knicks are bouncing back against a tried and true tie game. This is going to be a battle, but the Knicks are going to come out on top after the debacle right across town with the Lakers. So Coach K's parents come to him and they say, listen, and Coach K's like, what? I ain't doing it. Chicago, I'm not in West. Forget you later for West Point. It was, what I mean? I ain't got time for no West Point. I ain't got time for nonsense. Right? That was his attitude. He was going to the league. I'm going to the NBA. I'm going to, Chicago kid, point guard in every borough, not taking no, pulling no, South Side kids, West, Coach K out there hooping. And so, as the story goes, right, Coach K's parents, like his family's from Poland. So his parents were native speakers. He said for 2 weeks, they spoke exclusively Polish in the house. For 2 straight weeks. And you can go ahead and check this out. I'm trying to tell, Coach K obviously tells it better, but he says, so he doesn't understand what's going on, you know what I mean? Siblings are like, 2 weeks, they just spoke Polish. They didn't, oh, you're ruined. They didn't say nothing more about what they were clearly upset about, but they just, it was offensive to a degree that we're just not dealing with you anymore because they could see, they understood at the time, because, you think I'm going to the league. I need to be in those packed houses, playing Indiana, playing Michigan, playing Ohio State. That's what I need. And the parents were like, there's another way to do this. So and he says, so they'd be talking in Polish and they'd be like, beep, 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 Michael. Beep, 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 stupid. Like he knew his name, like beep, 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 and they would just be like, idiot. And they just kept it pushing, as they say, kept it moving. And he says, so finally, after 2 weeks, he goes to his parents and he says, you know what? I think I'll go to West Point. And then, shortly thereafter, English was once again spoken in the home. So my Coach K quote, right? I don't look at myself as a basketball player. I look at myself as a leader. Shout out to West Point that happens to play basketball. That's part of it. The other thing Coach K talks about is the will to prepare. The will to prepare. That's what makes a difference. The games aren't easy. Again, back to this load management foolishness. The games are easy once you get out there moving and grooving, doing your thing. Excuse me. It's the will to prepare that makes a difference. The will to prepare. And so that's what, constantly working on. SandCity Sports. Again, came at you a little bit late, but we hit the hour mark, which is what the intention was for this evening. We're going to be talking about, yes, indeed, as the train rolls on, we're getting the NFL draft, the commentary around Shador. See, the stars are out. Great to see. for the game, and the nonsense around Shador. He's a capable quarterback, confident guy. Sure, a lot of you play quarterback. You be confident. End of story. We're gonna talk about that going forward. The LeBron and the Stephen A. Kerfuffle, which is amusing to me. Because both of them are masters of the media. So that exchange, and they might have been heartfelt, but that exchange is now putting them at the beginning of the news cycle, which increases their Q rating, which makes them more valuable. Which so it's just masterful. I feel like in that capacity, and there was some words said. LeBron feels very strongly. Bronny's his son. Stephen A. feels very strongly. He's going to cover the story how it needs to be covered. Objectively. I'm not, it is what it is. So we will get on that in the next episode. What do we have? Clippers done went up by 6. Second quarter coming to a conclusion. That is about the right time for this episode of SandCity Sports. Shout out to Run DC, okay? Run DC, the old days. I think this is kind of a cheerful political. It's kind of funny. Obviously, the presidency is no laughing matter, but, kind of something to make the president relatable. Which hopefully we can do. We don't have to agree on every single point and all that, but we can have a measure of, just take a step back and smile at some things. Doesn't mean we agree with folks, but we can smile at some things, hopefully. So this is a throwback that I've had. Hope everybody had a good day, good week, finishing the work we're going into the weekend. I certainly did. Like I said, we're traveling out to the Western, spend time with family, celebratory event. Okay, and then, be back to the East Coast early next week. Back to the 9 to 5. March is a long month, straightforward, just long month, battling it out. Birthdays in March, later on in March. So we'll get to that. All right, and I just hope folks are doing, we got to hang in there. You got to take the good with the bad. You got to take the good with the bad. Hang in there, and do your passion projects. Things that fill you up. Positive, things that are creative, that uplift. This is what this is for me. Even after longer days, I start my day saying, okay, I got off, I got moving, okay, so we're gonna build up to this. Gonna make time for this. Okay, so that now I leave, I put a little wind in myself. So now I gotta do the other things that I gotta do. That's how I'm getting down. All right, folks, halftime of the Knicks Clips and the SandCity Sports. We're going to wrap it up. I'm your host, Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King. Thank you so much for tuning in, however the case may be, to SandCity Sports. And we will see you again the next time. Peace.